Hello everybody, welcome to your first sample question on the Federal Skilled Trades lesson series here. Alright, so this first question has to do with Leah. Now this one is a shorter question, but it's still a little bit tricky. So let's go through this together. So here we have Leah. Now Leah is a telecom worker, which is at a NOC B level, who was born in Germany but has been living in New Zealand for the past 5 years. She visits Luke, an RCIC, to ask if he thinks it would be possible for her to be selected for an invitation to apply if she were to make an express entry profile. Luke asks Leah a series of questions and notes that she is fluent in English, completed her 3-year telecom diploma 18 months ago to become registered in her trade, and has been working in her current role for the Kiwi phone company on a full-time basis since graduating. What is Luke likely to advise Leah? Now for our potential answers, we have A. She might receive an ITA under the Federal Skilled Worker Program if she receives a qualifying job offer. B. She might receive an ITA under the Federal Skilled Trades Program if she receives a qualifying job offer. C. She might receive an ITA under both the Federal Skilled Worker Program and the Federal Skilled Trades Program if she receives a qualifying job offer. And finally, D. She would not qualify for any programs at this time. So as usual, if you want to press pause to take a look at this and try to figure out the answer yourself, that would be a great idea. Remember that when you press pause and you're reading through this, try to figure out the important parts of the scenario as well. So you may have noticed that this is a smaller scenario than you'll see in other questions. That doesn't necessarily mean that this is an easier question. You could see that almost every little part of this scenario is important information. So when you broke this down, I hope you got something like this. And as we keep working through to go even deeper into this scenario, hopefully you came up with something like this. So here we saw that she is registered in her business, in her trade. So that's obviously important because it plays a role in assessing her experience as being relevant or not. In terms of the time of her experience, we can see that that's at 18 months. So in her role, we could see that she is at a NOC B level. If you take a look at the list of eligible occupations under the Federal Skilled Trades Program, you'll see that telecom workers are on that list as well. So she's been in this role for 18 months on a full-time basis. And finally, we get a little hint about her language. He says she is fluent. So with that, we can assume about a CLB 10 or higher. Now as we go back to the question again and take a look at the answers, you can see that we have quite a few answers and they're related to each other. So this is one of those great questions where if you know that one answer is correct or incorrect, it helps you in deciphering if one of the other answers is correct or incorrect. So let's go through each one of these step by step. Let's take a look at B. So B says she might receive an ITA under the Federal Skilled Trades Program if she receives a qualifying job offer. Now when we go back to that scenario and we see the important pieces of information that they give us, we can see that she is a registered telecom worker at a NOC B level. That work is full-time within the last 18 months, and we took an assumption on her language score as being CLB 10 or higher. When we compare that to the general requirements of the Federal Skilled Trades Program, we could see that it doesn't actually match up. In terms of language, of course, it far exceeds the minimum requirements of this. But in terms of her work experience, you could see that she doesn't meet those minimum requirements there. So remember that even if a person has a job offer, if they don't meet the minimum requirements of the program, they will not be accepted. So with this one, we can see that B is incorrect. So she would not be able to receive an ITA under the Federal Skilled Trades Program, even if she receives a qualifying job offer. So now this answer, of course, gives you a hint about C, but let's explore that one anyways. So the same thing in C, we see that she might receive an ITA under both the Federal Skilled Worker Program and the Federal Skilled Trades Program if she receives a qualifying job offer. So remember that when people join the pool of candidates, sometimes people qualify for all of the programs, for maybe the Canadian Experience class and the Federal Skilled Trades Program and the Federal Skilled Worker Program, but they would get chosen, they would receive an ITA for only one of those. In this case, they are saying that, yeah, she qualifies for both. So she might receive an ITA from either or. However, as we saw, she doesn't meet those requirements of the Federal Skilled Trade Program. So that makes this answer pretty easy to know that it's not the correct answer. So now we are left with A and D. For A, she might receive an ITA under the Federal Skilled Worker Program if she receives a qualifying job offer. So again, let's take a look at the information that they give us in the scenario. We have her as a registered telecom worker at a NOC B level. This work is full-time. She's been doing this for the last 18 months. Continuous, of course. And her language, we took an assumption that it is above or a CLB 10. When you take a quick look at the Federal Skilled Worker Program and those general requirements there, you can see that she exceeds all of them, or most likely exceeds all of them. Okay, so you might be wondering why this would be in this question when it's a Federal Skilled Trades lesson, and I'll talk about that in about a minute. So by knowing that answer, and basically by deducing the other answers because they're wrong, that really helps us to choose the correct answer as A in this one. So by knowing that she meets those requirements of the Federal Skilled Worker Program, we can see that D is incorrect as well. And of course, that just reinforces the answer that hopefully you chose, which is A. Now you might be asking yourself why we would include this question in here. You might say, well, this is a Federal Skilled Worker question, so why would you include this in a Federal Skilled Trades lesson series? And this is because by understanding the Federal Skilled Trades Program, it helps you really choose the correct answer in this one, even though the correct answer was the Federal Skilled Worker Program. So you can see that I hope this gives you a little bit of insight into how linked all of these topics are in terms of your exam and why it's important to be able to understand everything, really. So it's important to understand when you're looking at the economic classes, of course, the express entry procedures and CRS points, touches on Federal Skilled Worker, Canadian Experience Class, and Federal Skilled Trades. And of course, even those programs touch upon each other. So by understanding the Federal Skilled Trades program thoroughly, it will help you, of course, to understand and choose which answer is correct, even if the correct answer is another topic. All right, well, a big thank you for your time. You have 2 more questions to work your way through. So I hope you enjoyed this, and I hope you got a little bit more insight into, of course, the Federal Skilled Trades program, but also how related all of these elements and subjects in immigration are.